Youth Centers for Her, a mobile application that links girls and women who experience violence to the various support services, including sexual reproductive health services.
With the Centers for Her app, girls and women can now access free, fast and confidential post-violence services. These include emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid, counseling, toll-free helplines, health facilities, and services like HIV and AIDS post-exposure prophylaxis, emergency family planning pills if reported within 72 hours, treatment of STDs and other injuries, among others. Centers for Her app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store. To access any of the services, for example, police stations, tap on the categories option, choose police, select a station closest to your location. This will be represented by a black pin. You will then get directions to the center. Centers for Her is an app that women, girls, community leaders, and service providers can all use to refer survivors of violence to different service points.
Very interesting. Centers for Her, an app. That is what we are going to be discussing this morning. Technology, simplifying life, rescuing lives, saving lives is what this app is all about. More so for women, gender-based violence, women that need to voice out, need to seek out for help. This is an app developed by our very own Ugandan youth, and this is Teridon Wamboga, with whom I'm with in the studios, and I'm once again Robert Chirabonyonyintono, sitting in for my colleague Jagenda Semakula, who is not able to be with us this very morning. But I still believe we're going to have very fruitful deliberations, most when it comes to how best you can rescue a life using an app. Technology is the way to go, and many Ugandans today have smartphones, but what do you use your smartphone for? Sometimes there is so much that you can do with that phone, so much that can save a life, that can save a soul with that phone. But what do you use it for? Many youth, when every time you have to get data and OTT, do you use that to benefit you? Well, with me in studios, once again, I'm with Teridon Wamboga, a young innovator. Teridon, you're most welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
How have you been? I once heard of this, but I think it was in the making, and I'm now very privileged to be hosting you after the final product is out.
Thank you very much.
When we talk about Center for Hers, what do we refer to?
Centers for Her is a mobile application that is trying to solve a gap of accessing services. Because from statistics, it shows girls and women who report, because there are those who don't report.
Definitely.
So who report, only 51% get other services, let's say legal services, health services. So there was a gap of 49%, and the effects of the violences can cause, like for example, HIV, unwanted pregnancies, disabilities. So we saw there was a need to create Centers for Her, a mobile application, because most people, from statistics, they show like 70% of Ugandans in urban areas have smartphones, and in villages it's around 25% who use smartphones.
How did you come up with this idea? I see a young man by then at university, and of all things you think of an app. How did you, whose idea? Are you a group? Are you a team of people? How do we get to this?
Yeah, I see. I work with a youth-led organization, so we offer medical services. So I happen to be a youth counselor. Yes. So one time I got a lady who came for services, and when we tested her, she turned out positive. So we asked, like, how did it happen? So she told me she was violated by a gang on their village, but she kept home. So she wasn't aware of any services, so she kept home. So from that idea, I thought, because we used to go to communities to mobilize people to come for services, so we thought, what if we bring all the services to one place that a lady can think of when they're in need of them? So in this case, it was a violence case, so that came to my mind and said, let me shoot up for this. So we started it through just referrals, just going in the communities and say, you can get help here, you can get help here. Yeah, God, I think, saw my vision and then brought a hackathon organized by UN Women and Resilient Africa Network. It was at Makerere College of ICT. So it was a two-day event. It had more than 1,000 students. So they called all students who had ideas to solve ending violence against women and girls in the communities. So first day it was brainstorming, then second day was shooting out our ideas. So we matched out being the fourth team from 1,000 students. So my team had 3 people. Was called Fatuma and Arafat. So I lead the team, and that's how we work. Yep.
So develop this app. For the benefit of our viewers, briefly tell us what this app is about, what services does it offer, for them to know before they get to know how they can actually be part. Most of the girls, the women there that are really being violated, and their lips are silent, yet there could be a way where you could just by click of a button on your smartphone see miracles or magic work. These are the scientists that His Excellency always talks about, people that have a very innovative and they can solve problems using modern methods of technology.
Yeah, the app helps girls and women experiencing violence to access post-violence services. By the way, they are free post-violence services and sexual reproductive health services. So on this app, the girl or woman can have, for example, if they are violated, let's say a girl is violated, let's say Sarah is violated somewhere in Chikoni, and they have our mobile application. So on the mobile application, they will see, they will first locate where the girl is. Let's say the girl is in Chikoni, so they will first locate every service that's available. The Safe Police, to locate the Makerere Police, to locate the Nankulabe Police, all the police that's available there. Then to also show health centers that are available.
Just like on a Google map.
Yeah. Then to also show legal organizations that help these girls legally. To also locate counseling centers. So it's upon the girl to say, should I first go for counseling? Should I first report this case? Should I first seek health services? So it gives a girl options to first weigh them, then say, let me go for this. So that's what we are trying. Because there's been a delay. If a girl goes, for example, to police and they are delayed, they say, first fill this form. I don't know what the form. Then you have to go to a medical center. Then they say, we don't have a surgeon here. So we have located medical centers that have surgeons that can
surgeons that do the examination
of recent, even other medical surgeons can also fill up that form. Previously there have been police surgeons, but we also have them on the app. But even the medical centers that have surgeons who can fill that form, we have located them. So we have decreased on that delay that is always there. For example, you could go to Nankulabe Police. You report the case, then the police officer doesn't know where you're going next. So this app would help you. Okay, you're from here, then you fill this form. So you have to seek, for example, counseling.
Legal aid,
counseling. Yeah, legal aid to help on the investigation of a perpetrator. So you'll be there and you'll be like, where next? But if you're on the map, you could see there's FIDA, there's legal aid. So there's an Islamic legal aid. So they have legal officers who do this freely for basing on GBV.
So basically what this app does is it looks at issues of gender-based violence and
SRH,
and how best people, it shows you places where people can seek help. That is, once someone downloads it, then you can access, they will give you venues or organizations, institutions that can render someone, can be able to get help from. So let's look at another factor, because I see some of the services, emergency services, police stations, legal aid, counseling. Then there's a toll-free helpline. How does that work out?
So the toll-free helpline, for example, on the application, if I could give it to you. So on the helpline, the button that comes, that's on default on the default screen, is the police Ministry of Gender 116.
Okay.
So you report directly. So even that, when you report, you're reporting to, I see it sits in Chireka. So you report to them. that's a very department for police that handles gender-based violence. Yeah, so they can help you out, either show you, also they can also help you where to go next, or closest to where you are. But mostly it works for children. The 116 for children, it's called Sauti. Yeah, then for toll-free, you can also call. For example, Nagoro Teenage Center has a toll-free. You can have.
So these are available on the app?
Yeah, they're available on the application.
Okay.
So you call, they can also cancel you because you could be in depression by then. So if you call it all free, you can also you can speak to someone who can first console you, then you move out. Yeah, then moving out when you.
Then we have health facilities are given HIV/AIDS post-exposure. We have emergency contraceptives, treatment for STDs and others. So here you give directions to where you can best get this?
Yeah, and all these services are free. For example, if someone is raped, the high chances they don't know, the person will run away, the perpetrator will run away. So we don't know if the guy was positive or negative.
Or negative, yes.
So the post-exposure prophylaxis helps the girl contacting HIV. Yeah, so, and then the emergency pills prevents pregnancy. That's in 72 hours. Yeah.
Well, this is very interesting. We are seeing our brains, the young brains in the country, using technology to come up with an app which is Centers for Her. Very interesting app there. So where does one find this app? Is it on Google Store? When I have my smartphone, because many people have smartphones, Teridon.
Yeah.
But the challenge would be how to put them to proper use to benefit them. So I have my smartphone. How do I get to download? How do I get to this app? Because I expect any woman, any young girl having a smartphone should download this app. You never know when hell would get loose. You never know when a friend, a colleague would need this. But how best do they get to that?
Yeah, the application is uploaded on Google Play Store. It's easily downloadable. It's less than 5 MBs. Yeah, and it's user friendly. Yeah, it just requires you to log in, just your age and your sex.
Okay.
And acceptance to use your location, because it can't show you services closest to you when it doesn't know your location. Yeah, so that's it. Because when we went to Gulu to pilot it to see if it's workable, we met young girls representing the rural setting. We met also girls representing the urban setting. The girls in the rural setting advised us to locate LCs. So for the LCs, so for Kampala it will be congested, but for the rural setting it will be beneficial. So we're laying out a plan of bringing like chats to the LCs. You say this is the chat, because most of them don't have smartphones and phones, the young girls. That's 15 to 19. So we organize like chats where we locate the centers, like in the app, but on chats. Then we put them in LC offices. So if a girl or woman reports to the LC office, they can know from here you are here, so you can run here. You can run here to access these services. Yeah.
So most important is that this app will locate where you are. If you download it, you access it. First, your location will be known where you are. Then after knowing, they will give you the services available for the particular problem. How have Ugandans responded to this?
We've got a good reception from the girls and women, most especially students, because we worked, our main target audience for piloting and testing the application was Makerere and Chambugo. So, but we were able to go to Makerere. So Makerere, we're there for, we made a mini launch pilot for the girls and women. We demonstrated how the app works. Surprisingly, from we launched it in October. That's when we uploaded it. But we have gotten more than 200 downloads. From our reports, because we also have background reporting, it shows more than 80 girls have accessed services through the application. That's a very good push for us, because we just made 1 year with it, and most people have applications that they don't use. But this is the application that you could say, it's a GBV, how will I do the app, and will I be saying, let me be violated and use your app, but we see it's working. For example, during the COVID period, when there was no public transport, we put ambulances, and we used KCCO ambulances because we talked to them. So they allowed us to put their ambulances. Surprisingly, like 12 people ordered for ambulances on our application during the COVID period, which we didn't expect. And we didn't put it out like we have put ambulances like on TV, but people who had the app on their phones saw it and they used it. So it's a good push for us, because we're still developing. Like we still want to have this for the whole country, because right now we're in Kampala. All the service centers that are on the application are for Kampala, but we want to push further to be a countrywide. Then want to see it being a continental application, like in 5 years.
Terry Don, let's look at the issue of confidentiality. Issues of gender-based violence. First and foremost, we've had cultures. That some cultures, they don't condemn such acts. Some cultures, they will believe once a girl begins a menstruation cycle, she's ripe for marriage and sexual activities, regardless of age. So how confidential is this app? That a person, how do you keep someone's privacy? That if a person calls in, first and foremost, maybe emergency lines, they know where her location is. We won't wake up one day. You know what happens with media issues, social media, that maybe even there's a recording of what they discussed because of this app. How have you protected?
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much for that question. Our application is very confidential and reliable, because we don't ask for your names, we don't ask for where you stay. What we ask for you is your age and your sex. We don't follow which service have you sought. We just see reports that this number of people have received this service. Basically, because we have just given you options. Say, it's you to decide. If you're in Nankolabi and you don't want to go to Nankolabi police, you can go to Old Kampala police station. You could also go to a further police station where you don't want your identity to be identified. So we haven't put specifically for you to identify you. We don't follow you. We just show you that here is where you can access your services. So if you feel comfortable with the services that are closest to you, you can use those ones. If you feel the farthest are close to you, better for you, you can access those ones. But we don't ask you for your names. We don't ask for which job you do. So we have just put it for you to access services. So we've just put services at your hand to access them. Yeah, thank you.
Very interesting. These are free services according to Terry Don. But how free are the services? Because first and foremost, we know that these are grieving persons. These are people who are hurt, people who are stressed. How free are the services? Because this has been one of the hindrances, away from the confidentiality, culture and all that. Sometimes a rapist will target a vulnerable child, children from the poor family. So how free are those services?
Before uploading, that's why you see we have less centers, but there are very many centers offering services around Kampala.
True.
So we first meet these centers and we talk to them. They confirm to us that these services are totally free, because all the centers that are in the application report to the national database of Ministry of Gender. So because it's also their role to participate, they're offering services to the people, but they're not seeing the clients. People are not accessing the services. So we are helping the organizations.
So the service providers are there.
Yeah, they are there, but they sit in office
but
and
their
they are not
clients
receiving.
will be victims.
Yeah, they're victims and they're suffering in the community. They're suffering in the communities.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so we're helping both the service providers and the victims.
So acting as a bridge.
Yeah, and the survivors. So it's like a bridge, and we talk to them, both of them, because they also want the service to offer the services. It's their main goal to offer services to the girls and women, but they're not seeing the girls and women who are suffering down there. So we have told them, we have brought you the girls and women. This is how you can get the girls and women to your offices.
Center for Hers, apart from us in the media, and a few people could have this information, what are some of the methods you're using to sell out this app because it's a free download, and there isn't any amount of money apart from someone having data, maybe also paying OTT. So you as an innovator of this, how are you ensuring that more people get to know about this app, which is very, very important? Have you partnered with government? Have you sold it to big organizations? Because it is really very important, very important. We have a change of domestic violence, rights of women and girls are abused in this country, left, center. But this is one of the solutions, but it's not so much out there. Yeah, we would expect to have so many apps that have come up and just within a fortnight, they're well known to a number of people. I don't want to mention them, but because it's not what you're focusing on today. Yeah. But I'm sure you know, as in this field, we're not seeing you so much out there. What are some of these challenges?
Because we had activities that were meant for universities, that are called college activities. Okay. So we meant to go to each college in a university because our main target population were youth students. So when we started to run out the activities, you know what happened this year?
The pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic came in March, and that's when it's the time we're supposed to launch out our activities. So students have been home. So we're trying to push Facebook, but you know, you reach different populations. You could reach a population in, say, Aroa, and someone calls, people call, say, I've done the application, but the services are in Kampala. So wanted to first target Kampala, feed Kampala, then see what Kampala tells us, then we expand elsewhere. So our activities were basically in schools and universities, but the universities closed. That's why we're trying to come out right now to come on TV, reach people. But we work under a very big organization, UN Women, because UN Women is the one that funds our application. So it has tried to link us to other organizations that offer services. They couldn't be gender-based related, but they offer services to women. So we're trying to reach those women, tell them we have this for you, it can help you. We're also trying out community dialogues with community leaders, the VHTs, because most people in the villages report the VHTs, and these VHTs.
That is the village health teams.
Yeah, village health teams. There's the Nabachala. These people get many domestic violence cases.
Those are the structures of the local council.
Yeah, but
LC1.
Yeah, but they
Secretary for Women Affairs.
Yeah, but
the Nabachala, yes.
They keep silent with them. So they come. They say, for example, if I was old, my kid has, for example, 18. Okay, my brother has raped a girl from the neighborhood. So they'll be like, let's talk this as families.
Let's talk it out.
Yeah, so they'll be like...
Then you compensate us with 1 or 2 goats?
Yeah, like, okay, 2 goats, then it stops there. Yeah, the girl is suffering. So we're trying to...
sometimes she could even be married off to the very person who committed this offense.
Yeah, they say, you've gotten pregnant of that boy, go.
Yes.
And it was a result of rape. So we're trying to reach them, talk to them, tell them this is an offense that has to bring the perpetrator to book. Yeah, so we're trying to also sensitize them to communities. That's where we're going, reaching the communities. Yeah, at the local council.
This is an interesting question, but I'll pose it to you to inspire many young youth there that have had at least an ICT background. As an innovator, how would you stand to benefit out of your idea?
Yeah, because, thank you very much for the question. One, it's out of passion.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've worked with young people, and I felt the case that led me to have this idea out and to sell it to like UN Women funders, it was so touching. That lady was, the story was so touching to me. So it was out of passion that I started this. So for now, we're still working under passion. We want to see if what we're really fighting for comes out. But in the long run, because like for now, we've gotten people who reach you, and we've got exposure to some people. The benefits we recognized by the the American embassy, so they also accepted us to be on their Women's Day events. The benefits are coming, but you know, benefits don't rush. Yeah, good benefits don't rush. Yeah, so for now we are comfortable. We're still having our passion to get these girls. If we can fight for the rights and girls of women and the communities, you know, you never know if you help someone. If, for example, you're walking on the streets and help someone with 1,000, for you to be like, I've given that lady 1,000. But you know what? That lady is praying for you. So people are praying for us, and we are pushing, and we are pushing very positively. Where we go, everything opens up for us. Like, for example, I'm not so a person who goes to church, but God shows me visions and tells me this, because people pray for me. People who are using our application, who help in the communities, they pray for us.
The lives you've saved, the breakthroughs they have been able to make out of gender-based violence. If the app wasn't there, which is Centers for Us, why are you so much targeting the women?
Yeah, statistics show girls and women are the most affected by gender-based violence. Okay, gender-based violence is something that's beyond unemployment. It's a challenge right now beyond unemployment, because it's global, and if the states can report 1 in 3 girls are affected on a daily, so that's a very big cause. So we had to run for, and it has very many effects that are avoidable. So this is something that can be avoidable. That's why we came on board. GBV is something that's really touching. If you saw a girl, because me I work in a health facility, if a girl came to you and told you they are being raped, it's not something very easy.
Psychologically, health-wise.
Like we could speak it in public and say the word rape.
Yeah, but
if someone is raped and came to you, or defiled, you could also feel breakdown and you couldn't also talk to this person. So we want to solve this, and we call on the government to at least have more advocates of GBV out there.
That is gender-based violence.
Like they did for HIV, because to bring down HIV, they brought a lot of advocates for HIV. So that's why you see HIV right now had very many people fight for it, up to a state where they had to bring free medical services to the clients. So if the government and big bodies, international bodies, bring out very many advocates for gender-based violence, at least we could try to push the fight to end this.
We were discussing looking at campus, universities, but gender-based violence, I strongly believe maybe the campuses, the elite, are better positioned even to know where to run to. The biggest challenge comes in the villages, in the rural areas, where you find that they still have customs, they still have cultures, they can still settle this on table. A cock and 2 goats can deal with a case. There's lack of exposure. Your methodology of handling this, why did you first prefer beginning with cities or towns, not the rural setting where we expect more of people where these offenses are committed and they're very vulnerable?
Thank you. You know, for us we just say we are exposed, we know everything, but literally there's a lot happening. For example, if you just walk downtown after the show, go downtown, you yourself you witness more than 10 women being violated on street by men. Even verbal violence is also there's so much in town. So some people are ignorant about the violence. Like you said, some societies they could say, if a man doesn't beat you at home, the man doesn't love you. Yeah, so they're ignorantly they're being violated.
So I think beating is part of manhood and a good husband. Yes.
Yeah. So many people are violated. It's very evident. If I've told you, just a good example. Just walk down. Just a woman comes to buy tomatoes, and some men touching her without her will. So we see cities have these cases, but they fear to report because how will they see me reporting? Yeah, and how will they?
How
the
would
police,
someone report a rape case?
Yeah,
In town, you're putting on skimpy clothes. The first would be you attracted the rapist to that.
Yeah, so
it's about being silent.
Yeah, so you say, I go to police, there's a thief, and how will I come say, this man touched my breast unwillingly? So, and there's a person reporting a thief, so you'll be like, let me just give up. But deep down you, it hurt you. So that's why we're in cities, because it's evidently, we know even the villages evident, but in the cities it's rapid, and it's where I wanted our main focus. And in the villages there's no much of smartphones, so we want to try
Definitely
to
yes.
have this for the women, but we are also having, for the village part, we are also bringing the USSD, where they can use button phones to access our very own services in their communities. So that's how we're pushing. But for the campuses, violences happen. You heard of the girl who committed suicide because she was raped by at Makere. She was in a hall, and this guy used to come and rape her like every day. She would pass through the ceiling and rape her. So this girl committed suicide through the window. Yeah, so things are happening in the halls, but because it's silent, we don't know anything. So
and this is a silent way of holding victims accountable.
Yeah, so
because someone will not even be aware that you're going to a police station. This is the good thing about this app. Someone may commit an offense, and simply with your mobile phone, you're reporting and being able to get a service that even will end up arresting that person just next to you. So it's something that really I applaud all the young girls or the ladies to ensure that you download this app by Terry Don Wamboga and a group. Terry Don, how easy was it for you to come up with this idea? Because we know so many people would want to use technology to solve problems. Because I see here using technology to solve a problem, which has been people getting services. How easy was it to a fellow youth who, watching, to someone with IT knowledge? How easy is it for someone to come up with an app that answers or solves a problem?
Yeah. First, you have the idea, then how to implement it. So, like me, I have a background in IT and public health. So it helped me to.
So you have the technological bit of it.
Yeah.
You also have the health perspective.
Yeah. Of solving the challenge. So I knew who best to work with to bring up this app to be uploaded and be used by our clients or the survivors. So it's all about passion. Everything's about passion, because we can do many things, but if you don't have passion, you can't do it. Yeah, even you could have someone who could design an app better than this, but because they don't have passion for it, so they can't do it. So if you have passion in something, you can do it. So like other fellow youth who have passion, for example in marketing, they've designed very good applications for the market. Yeah, so it's all about passion. What you want to see, what you want to see in your community work out. That's what you go with. So you follow your heart. What your heart tells you, it's what you do.
Very interesting. A person who has an ICT background, also that is public health, comes up with an app that solves problems. And this is the Center for Her. That's app that you download on Google Play Store. Am I right? Yes. You just download that, then it will give you all the details, how you follow, how you're able to save a friend, to save yourself actually, by seeking services such as emergency shelter, police stations, legal aid, counseling. These are toll-free line in case you want someone to speak to. And you'll also be able to find health facilities within your area or your vicinity. HIV/AIDS post-exposure, they'll also be able to give you that, emergency contraceptives, treatment for STDs and others, by simply using your smartphone. On a scale of 10, how are youth using their smartphones? We've had this talk for a long time, that the youth, many of them have smartphones, but they're not putting them to proper use. Your assessment, you're a youth.
Yeah.
You have a smartphone like many do. Are youth really making good use of these gadgets?
Yeah. We got an opportunity that came with the COVID lockdown. So most people I'm in circles with learned new skills because there were very many when the lockdown was like worldwide. Many people uploaded free courses that would help people when they're at home. So this year I think people have used their smartphones because you've been indoors, you don't have work, you don't have school, then what else are you doing? So people have been using their smartphones. Like for example, the entertainment part, there's this TikTok just raised in 1 month, and it was global everywhere.
Just like a bushfire.
Yeah. So
but literally sense is there. Do you find sense in that? To people about recording themselves, you can't equate that to how useful this is. Of course it's been around. That's the element that when a youth, your assessment, when a youth has a smartphone, if you look up through Google Store, the apps they're using, do they feel they're putting smartphones to proper use? Many of them, yes, TikTok is something that every youth almost is downloading, but how beneficial is that? It's just on someone's song and all that. So do you see them look for serious apps? Are they not aware of them?
Depends on someone's interest, but like on TikTok, there was a South African gender-based violence campaign, and it had people recorded themselves saying they're being hurt, whereby they're being violated. Those videos were rapidly on TikTok, and the government, their health, the gender part, was able to notice because it was going viral. Everyone was recording. It was one song, but people were recording themselves like dying inside and they're being killed in the houses. So it depends on what you really want on the platform, because it has everything you would wish to get. And it depends on what you really want and what's beneficial to you, because I can't come, you're a musician, and I can't come tell you do this, because TikTok will be selling your music, and I tell you download, for example, any other app, nutrition app, you'll be like, I don't need nutrition right now, I need to sell my product. So it depends on what you really want, but most people have apps that it's for fun, just mostly games. Depends on what really people need in their life at the moment, because someone could be depressed and couldn't want to listen to anything other than music that will console her or him in the depression they are in. So I think for the youth, since we are very hard to understand, and to understand us, it's always patience. So you have to first understand us, then you really brings out something to us. So if you don't understand us, then your product won't sell to the youth.
We are looking at Centers for Her app that was developed by Teridon Wamboga, a young innovator with whom I'm sitting with, and it aims at ensuring that women seek justice. Victims of rape, domestic violence can seek aid using this app. It is on Google Store. All you do is download it. Then you're able to find the nearest service providers within your area of vicinity, and all the people that are going to give you services, the services are free. What a breakthrough for the young girls, for the women there, and of course the men also. Men these days are also facing some challenges. Some men are being battered, but of course because of culture, equally the way it processes women, you may not get a man coming out and confessing that, hey, every night I'm being battered. Men don't, it's within us. Men, you don't report such incidents. So you don't have to have a silence death there. Just go download a Centers for Her, and you'll be able to seek these services simply on technology, not even interact with a person physically, because with a helpline, but you'll get the services, and above all, these services are free. Teridon, very interesting regarding this app, and I hope many people can download it and use it for the proper reasons. Not like the police fire brigade, where they'll tell people keep on calling and put it to proper use. If they do so, where do you see this app in solving issues of gender-based violence in the next 5 years?
In the next in the next 5 years, I see this up because one thing where I didn't tell you, when you see these services where they are, when you tap on them, you can get directions to where they are. For example, you're so new to an area, so you'll be able to know I can pass through here, and locate where the center is. So if people use this app very well, I see as the application solving like limited access from, for example, the 51 to at least
there are some of the services on your screen that you can get through this app. That is the center for us. That is just what you're seeing on your screen. Emergency shelters, police stations, legal aid counseling, toll-free line, you have health facilities, so much that you can get just by downloading and trying out this app. Yes, you can continue.
So in 5 years, we shall help the Ministry of Gender have to lay out programs that will help girls. If we know people accessing the services, for example, at the police station, and we don't have a department concerning the gender-based violence at the police station, so the government will think and say, at the each police station, we should have, for example, a legal person or police department that is trained specifically for gender issues. So if also we help these girls access the services, it creates a need. For example, I've come to a health center and you tell me you don't have, for example, PEP, you don't have first, like, nurses who dress the wounds, for example, if someone comes with a wound. So to give decision making to the ministries and people concerned to put these services in place up to the local, for example, health center too. If, for example, because health centers too don't have doctors, so if need these and people are reporting these cases rapidly, so the teams on the districts will discuss and say, at least we need someone to be there to handle these cases. So we see ourselves in 5 years helping the government to plan for the girls and women where they should access these services. We see us contributing to at least an 80% in 5 years for people, girls and women, accessing services after violence. We know people say, why do you want to help us after violence? But this is something that's not going to happen. Yeah, like you see accidents. So you can't tell an accident will be there, but it will be there. So we help people. That's why people put signposts. Say they put humps, they go slow, you may get an accident ahead. So we're trying to also alert you. For example, if you've gotten this, please seek these services to avoid getting other complications that will be also hinder your life. Yeah.
Terry Dawn, I want to thank you so much, but I need to have your final remarks. I hope this is not going to be the end of it. You're going to see more apps that are problem solving, that are life saving from you and team. What are some of your final remarks?
My final remarks, I'll take this opportunity to thank you and women for the financial support and guidance. Thank Resilient Africa Network for always supporting us, mentoring us to have always the best. I thank Naguru Youth Health Network, where we sit at China-Uganda Friendship Hospital. I also thank my team that I work with, Kabugo Arafat. Also want to thank the girls and women who are using our application. Thank you very much. We have some lady who sent a testimony, who received counseling, and it was very, very good for us. And so
very encouraging.
Yeah, so I was pushing. So she also wanted to meet us and give us a gift, but she said, when you're around Kampala, you come and give us the gift. So one thing, every girl who has trusted our application and using our application. I want to also greet my people, Zambia Central B. I'm your next LC3 councillor.
Oh, you ventured into politics?
Yeah, we're trying to bring service delivery to the people. So there's nothing for us without us. So they keep on saying the youth are the majority, but you're not allowing the youth to come into the space. So there's nothing for us without us. So we have to be there, then you get things for us.
I love that slogan.
Yeah, so
nothing for us without us.
Yeah.
So therefore you're venturing into
politics. So we have to be there, so it will be there for us. Yeah, so I want to tell them I will deliver everything like it should be. I'm trusted, I'm disciplined, and I'm mentored by the best. So you should trust me with their vote and see me be their LC3 councillor. Yeah.
You deserve a handshake, but unfortunately in the times of COVID-19, let's maintain the social distancing.
Sure.
I want to thank you so much, Terry Don Wamboga and the team. These young innovators, please, the sky is the limit. Keep on looking for solutions through which we can use ICT to solve them, and with that we'll have a better Uganda. I just want to leave you with a segment where we know there's also homeschooling. People are home, and it's because of technology. Maybe, who knows, sometime we'll have another app developed by Wamboga and team. But today we've been discussing, that is the Centers for Her. That is an app. You can go to Google Play Stores, download it, and it will help you. You never know when. Just have that, because it avails a couple of services for, that is, victims of gender-based violence. Robert Chirabo Nyonitono, wishing you a lovely day. Remember, COVID is still around. Stay safe and not be lost in the political excitement. God bless you.
Welcome to English in a Minute, from home. A cabin is a small wooden structure. So what could it mean to have cabin fever?
Jonathan, I really need to get out of this house.
Sounds like you've got cabin fever. Maybe you should take a walk.
I've taken 5 walks today, and it's not even 10 a.m. I need to see my friends in person, in a restaurant.
Yeah.
When you are stuck indoors because of bad weather, an illness, or some other reason, you may start to feel bored and even trapped. This feeling can be called cabin fever. And that's English in a Minute.